Namaste, angels. This is the daily reading for tomorrow, Monday, April 22nd, which is Earth Day, actually. And I forgot to mention it in the both readings, actually. All three readings that I did this weekend, I did not mention Earth Day, which is interesting because later after I did the love reading, I got a message about the car. I had a card that had a bunch of flowers on it. And it came through that was connected to Earth Day, like there could be some special surprises, or, unexpected, I guess, good news and, like I said, surprises of different sorts that come on the 22nd. So that's cool. If that happens to anybody. I think there should be a Scorpio moon by Monday. I'm pretty sure there should be a Scorpio moon. I didn't look it up. What else? I had a cute picture that I put up on my Facebook page that said, like, if you missed 420, it's okay. You can celebrate or recognize it on 422 because 422 is 422. It's corny, but I thought it was cute. All right, let's get into it then. I can't think of anything else I need to tell you guys. So we're going to begin with the year 1500 when Pedro Alvarez Cabral, is the first European to discover Brazil. Landing near Monte Pascoal, he claims it for Portugal. 1915, the first military use of poison gas, which was chlorine, was done by Germany in World War I on this day. 1976, Barbara Walters becomes the first female nightly network news anchor of the Today Show, or of any period, but she was on the Today Show. 1993, Holocaust Memorial Museum is dedicated in Washington, D.C. 1994, 7,000 Tutsis are slaughtered by Hutu in the stadium at Kivu in Rwanda. 2006, 243 people are injured in pro-democracy protests in Nepal after Nepali security forces opened fire on protesters against King Gyanendra. And 2016, Paris Agreement on Climate Change is signed in New York, binding 195 nations to an increase in the global average temperature to less than 2 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial levels, and to pursue efforts to limit the increase to 1.5 degrees Celsius. Did you know more than $3.3 million is stolen from the First National Bank of Arizona in Tucson in the then largest U.S. bank robbery in history? Happened on April 22nd in 1981. Famous birthdays: Vladimir Lenin, Robert Oppenheimer, Eddie Albert, Betty Page, Glenn Campbell, and Jack Nicholson. Would you believe in Denmark, the largest lollipop weighing 3,011 pounds is made? Happened on April 22nd in 1994. Famous weddings: 1887, business magnate Andrew Carnegie, 51, weds Louise Whitfield, 30, in New York City, New York. 1939, actor and naval officer of World War II, Douglas Fairbanks Jr., 29, weds Huntington Hartford's former wife, Mary Lee Hartford. And 1995, extra TV co-host Arthel Neville, 32, weds Carolina Panther running back Derek Lassick, 25, at Our Lady of Guadalupe Church. Famous divorces: 1993, tennis great Bjorn Borg divorces Loredana Berthe. Famous deaths: Miguel de Cervantes, Anne Bonny, Ansel Adams, Emilio G. Segre, Cesar Chavez, and Richard Nixon. Richard Nixon was the 37th U.S. president. He was American and a Republican. He had been vice president prior, as well as senator from California. His presidential term went from January 20th in 1969 to August 9th in 1974. He was preceded by Lyndon B. Johnson and succeeded by Gerald Ford. Nixon was famous because he served as vice president under Dwight D. Eisenhower before losing an election to John F. Kennedy in 1960. He finally won the presidency in 1968, succeeding Lyndon B. Johnson. His early presidency was consumed with ending the Vietnam War, which had deeply polarized the nation by the time of his election. He reached an accord with North Vietnam and ended military involvement by 1973, at the same time ending the military draft. His landmark visit to China in 1972 helped to initiate Detente, a period of warming relations with the Soviet Union and the Communist bloc. Domestically, Nixon enforced desegregation of Southern schools and imposed wage and price controls for 90 days. He also established the Environmental Protection Agency and enforced a policy of new federalism, which gradually transferred some power to the states. In 1972, after winning one of the biggest landslide re-elections in American history, Nixon's presidency slowly became consumed by Watergate scandal, a break-in at the Democratic Party headquarters by burglars linked to the Nixon administration, and Nixon's attempts to cover it up led to a constitutional crisis. Facing certain impeachment in 1974, Nixon resigned, becoming the only president to ever do so. Watergate greatly diminished Nixon's historical reputation, and in a famous interview with David Frost in 1977, he apologized for his role in the scandal. He was born on January 9th in 1913 in Yorba Linda, California, USA, and was a Capricorn. He died on April 22nd in 1994 at the age of 81 of a stroke. Cesar Chavez was a civil rights activist. He was both American and Mexican, a major historical icon for the Latino community. Chavez founded the National Farm Workers Association, which later became the United Farm Workers Association. His work helped to make farm workers struggle a moral cause with significant national support. He was born on March 31st in 1927 in Yuma, Arizona, USA, and was a rabbit on the Chinese zodiac and an Aries. He died on April 22nd in 1993 at the age of 66 of natural causes. Emilio G. Segre was a physicist and a Nobel laureate. He was Italian. He discovered the elements technetium, stantine, and the subatomic antiparticle antiproton, for which he was awarded the Nobel Prize in Physics in 1959. He was born on January 30th in 1905 in Tivoli, Italy, and was an Aquarius. He died on April 22nd in 1989 at the age of 84 of a heart attack. Ansel Adams was a photographer, American. He's famous for his black and white landscape photographs of the American West, especially Yosemite National Park, which have been widely reproduced on calendars, posters, and books. He was born on February 2nd in 1902 in San Francisco, California, United States, and was a Pisces. He died on April 22nd in 1984 at the age of 82 of cardiovascular disease. Anne Bonny was a pirate. She was Irish, a famous pirate in the Caribbean between 1718 and 1720. She fought under the command of Calico Jack Rackham. She was born near Cork, Ireland, probably sometime around 1700. Our dates are approximate. The result of a scandalous affair between an English lawyer and his maid. He was eventually forced to bring Anne and her mother to America to escape the gossip that her birth created. Together with fellow female pirate Mary Read, she was one of the Rackham's most formidable pirates, fighting, cursing, and drinking with the best of them. She was captured along with the rest of Rackham's crew in 1720 and sentenced to death, although her sentence was commuted because she was pregnant. Bonny has also been the inspiration for several stories, books, movies, and songs over the years. She was born on March 8th in 1702 in Kinsale, Ireland, and was a Pisces. She died on April 22nd in 1782 at the age of 80. Lastly, for the deaths, Miguel de Cervantes was an author in Spanish. He's the author of Don Quixote and considered to be the first modern European novel, or that book is considered to be the first modern European novel, and a classic of Western literature. It is regarded among the best works of fiction ever written. His influence on the Spanish language has been so great that the language is often called La Lengua de Cervantes, the language of Cervantes. He was born on September 29th, which is Michaelmas, the feast day of Saint Michael. Raphael and Gabriel also celebrated on that date. In the year 1547, in Alcalá de Henares, Spain, and was a Libra. He died on April 22nd in 1616 at the age of 68. 1616, of course, 7-7. April, of course, 4 and 22, also 4. It's like 4, 4, 7, 7, or 11, 11. Famous birthdays. Jack Nicholson is 81 years old. He's an actor, American, widely regarded as one of the greatest actors of his generation. He's known particularly for playing dark, neurotic characters such as in The Shining, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, and Chinatown. Nicholson has won an Academy Award for Best Actor twice, for One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest and for the romantic drama As Good as It Gets. His 12 Oscar nominations make him the most nominated male actor in history. Nicholson is also the recipient of 6 Golden Globe Awards and a Lifetime Achievement Award for the American Film Institute. He was born on April 22nd in 1937 in Neptune City, New Jersey, USA, and is 81, an ox on the Chinese zodiac and a Taurus. Very nice. Glen Campbell, an actor and a country singer, American, was one of the leading figures of country pop during the 1960s and 70s. Having established himself as a commercially successful solo artist by the late 60s, he transitioned into acting with his debut on the Glen Campbell Good Time Hour, making him an international star. He was born on April 22nd in 1936 in Delight, Arkansas, USA, and was a rat on the Chinese zodiac and a Taurus. He died on August 8th in 2017 at the age of 81, 8811. And then he was 81 too. Betty Page was the queen of pinups, often referred to as the queen of pinups. Her jet black hair, blue eyes, and trademark fringe bangs have influenced artists for generations and made her famous in the 1950s. She was born on April 22nd in 1923 in Nashville, Tennessee, USA, and was a Taurus. She died on December 11th in 2008 at the age of 85. Eddie Albert was an actor, American, famous for Roman Holiday and The Heartbreak Kid. He was born on April 22nd in 1906 in Rock Island, Illinois, USA, and was a Taurus. He died on May 26th in 2005 at the age of 99 of pneumonia. Robert Oppenheimer was fully named Julius Robert Oppenheimer. He was a physicist, and the father of the atomic bomb, American. He was a theoretical physicist who is often called the father of the atomic bomb for his role in the Manhattan Project, the World War II project that developed the first nuclear weapons. He was born on April 22nd in 1904 in New York City, New York, USA, and was a Taurus. He died on February 18th in 1967 at the age of 62 of throat cancer. Lastly, for the birthdays and for today, period, Vladimir Lenin. He was a Marxist revolutionary and Soviet leader. He played a leading role in the October Revolution of 1917, which is 9/9, overthrowing the provisional government and establishing a one-party state under the new Communist Party that became the Soviet Union. Vladimir Lenin became interested in Marxism while at university and was later exiled to Siberia for sedition. After traveling through Europe, Lenin returned to Russia to join the 1917 Russian Revolution, writing his April thesis for the Bolshevik Party on the way. In power, Lenin began reforms to shift crown and private estates into Soviet workers' control. He consolidated power through imposing censorship and authorizing the Red Terror. Ideologically a Marxist, his political theories are known as Leninism. On his death in 1924, St. Petersburg was renamed Leningrad in honor of his body. Well, in his honor, and his body was embalmed and placed on display in a mausoleum in Red Square. He was born on April 22nd in 1870, so 4488, in Simbirsk, Russia, and was a Taurus. He died on January 21st in 1924 at the age of 53 of a stroke. And again, he was the last. Today with the dice, we're starting with 29. Forget it and sex. Okay. Spirit says no. I think he said no this weekend too in both readings. Spend money and dirty movie. The cards, we're once again beginning with the Four of Winter. Thoroughly think things through before making a decision. Continuing to overanalyze isn't going to get you any closer to a resolution, but meditation and prayer will bring the answers you seek. When the Four of Winter shows up, there can be a need for some sort of break. We might need a break, like from the world, on our own, or with our mate, because like in love, you can need a break too. Maybe together, again, to work on your relationship, or maybe apart from each other. And a break can be anything. A break can be like, leave me alone today, leave me alone for a couple hours, let me take a nap. It's up to you. Different things for different people, but you need some sort of like it's more of a mental break than a physical break, is what's coming through. Same thing with like work. You might need it might be vacation time, like you're getting to your limit where you don't want to have any problems with your job. You need a break. Some also have to do with like the need to make some sort of decision and maybe to think it through, in meditation or sleep, rest. It can be about recovery too, getting your energy back after, a situation, maybe after a painful situation, or some sort of loss with the Three of Winter, like Three of Swords coming prior. We could, end up on the Four, which is like the recovery period. And opening to Major Arcana card 17, the Star. You are about to take a big leap forward with your life. Worry will be replaced with optimism. Fear with hope, and joy is coming home to roost. The star represents the planet Uranus, which is the ruler of the sign of Aquarius, all about like online communication and stuff like that. And so that can be connected to dirty movie and, maybe again, some like FaceTime or online dating or something like that going on. Maybe you're deciding whether you should. Four of Winter. Eight of Autumn. It's the perfect time to learn all you can by returning to school, taking a seminar, or conducting research. Do your best work, and the law of attraction will bring you prosperity and career advancement. Eight of Autumn for me about like reaping what you've sown. And the Queen of Spring, talented, brilliant, independent, and charming. Don't underestimate your ability to manifest your dreams. You may have several priorities vying for your attention at once, but you can do it. Queen of Spring, a Leo, Sagittarius, or Aries, or someone likened to those traits or attributes, like the Emperor, also an Aries, or possibly a Scorpio, ruled by Mars. Structure and organization are important right now. Don't be afraid to take a leadership role, as you have much wisdom to offer. Currently, Mars is located in Gemini, by the way. I'll do one more. And it's the Nine of Summer. We saw this all weekend, the Nine of Summer. It showed up in every reading, I think. Now is the time when your dreams come true. Don't worry about how this will happen. Just give gratitude to God for all that you have and all that's still to come. Nine of Summer, Nine of Cups. So similar to the Star, the Nine of Cups is about, yes, dreams coming true, wishes being granted. But the Star is also, again, about communication, particularly online. And the Princess of Winter, logical, truthful, curious, undiplomatic, a Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius. This is an intellectual challenge that calls upon your ability to think of a matching solution. If helpful information is put to you bluntly, accept the message without being bothered by the messenger. Overall energy is Major Arcana card 7, the Chariot. You can successfully balance various opposing energies at once through determination and focus. You have earned the rewards and recognition you're receiving. So again, reaping what you've sown. Chariot also a card of victory and movement, moving. Can be about travel too, vacation. Maybe it's attached to that break one needs. Represents the sign of Cancer. Crowning the masculine. It is the 10 of autumn. Contentment comes from knowing that your finances are secure and your family's material needs are taken care of. It's important to honor traditions and to have pride in your heritage and the accomplishments of your ancestors. Very nice. It's a feel-good kind of card. Wow. He's surrounded by the 4 of spring. It's time to kick back, relax, and to celebrate all that you have. Joy arises from success in your career, the completion of a project, or a very happy home life. Maybe this is connected to that Earth Day joy that I, felt after I did the love reading. Masculine subconscious, very nice. Major Arcana card 1, the Magician. There is magic in the air. You can manifest everything you need to be successful. Represents the sign of Gemini, but he's got like this, sort of house and home, joy, happiness, commitment, marriage, everything awesome card here. And also the 10 of autumn, which is, similarly a card about being surrounded by family and just feeling secure and loved and good. So very nice for the masculine. Crowning the feminine. The 4 of autumn. Be cautious about living a life of extremes or seeing things in black and white terms. Consider, for example, whether you're spending too much versus hoarding your wealth, or giving too much emotionally versus building up walls that keep people out. The masculine can be coming into some sort of lump sum or inheritance or something, maybe winning a scratch off ticket, something, some sort of abundance could be coming his way too, and maybe having to do with a property, specifically a home, with the 4 of spring sitting under here. Surrounding the feminine. Major Arcana card, the Moon, which is interesting because the Moon rules the sign of Cancer. And again, the Chariot, which represents the sign of Cancer, is our overall energy. Major Arcana card 18, the Moon, represents the sign of Pisces in the tarot, though. It's important to trust your intuition. Even if you're unsure of what's happening, all will be revealed soon. So worry is unnecessary. So the feminine guided to remain confident and, in control, not freaking out, and just like listening to messages, paying attention to syncs, and listening to the guidance that she receives, gut feelings, all that stuff. Her subconscious is the 3 of spring. Stop to take time to review and to make long-term plans. You are capitalizing upon your past successes. It's appropriate to pat yourself on the back for all of your accomplishments, but you may also need a little patience for the next phase to pay out. So again, you don't know what's happening, what's coming next, but you're still supposed to be, trust that everything is okay, all is well. Crowning, very nice. The King of Autumn, compassionate, accomplished, charismatic, and grounded. A Capricorn, Virgo, or Taurus, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. Everything's going to turn out great. Projects will be stunningly successful. Exciting new career opportunities are possible, and money or resources that come your way will be invested wisely. King of autumn, even crossing the feminine's moon. So it's like, again, what you don't know is that everything is fine. Or, that's one of the things you may not know. You may not know some other stuff, but whatever you don't know, there's no need to worry because everything's fine, basically. At the root. Ooh, there had been a loss. This is what I was talking about. This card I said can precede the 4 of winter. And the 4 of winter, thereby would be about recovery. So it is in that past position here, the foundation, the root, thankfully. Sadness is part of life, but you don't have to endure it alone. You may need a little time to heal, but once you work your way through the emotions, you'll be stronger than before. So yeah, for the masculine, again, this can be an inheritance. So maybe prior he lost someone in his family and they left him, something in their will, for example, that could be coming through. Maybe that energy was stuck before, it's moving now. Maybe it was in court and, he is now winning, or the winner. The Chariot about victory too. Maybe he is moving into the family home, or selling the family home, moving away from it, but it's attached to some sort of feeling of grief or loss, although it's wonderful now. And something lucrative, abundant. For the feminine, this feels more work related, regular work related. And she might be miserable at her job, to be honest with you, and wanting to do something on her own and like wondering like, when is this going to get better? When are things going to start to improve? And the universe, again, with the Three of Spring, is saying, go ahead and begin to make plans. Like, everything's going to be fine. So you want to say, like, this time next year, I'm going to be doing that. Go ahead. I'm going to be doing this, that, or the other. Go ahead and plan that out, is what this is saying. You don't know what's coming, but it'll be good. And, things will work out if you sort of ease off of of the energy. Stop trying to control stuff and be like a squirrel, like squirreling away and hoarding. You have to let, the energy flow freely. The heart of the matter. The Seven of Spring. Be assertive, believe in yourself, and don't let anyone take away your personal power. Trust that your inner guidance is true and follow it completely. So this is about sticking to your guns. Once you do make a decision, to follow whatever guidance you're receiving. But we have an upright card. I'll go ahead and look at the moon a little bit further. It's connected to the Princess of Winter. Logical, truthful, curious, and undiplomatic. You could be awaiting some sort of news or information, and you don't have it, so you don't know how to proceed, or you're afraid to proceed. Again, you're guided to go with the feelings and intuition, intuitive messages that you come into, regardless. But the Princess of Winter is logical, truthful, curious, and undiplomatic. This says it's an intellectual challenge that calls upon your ability to think of a matching solution. If helpful information is put to you bluntly, accept the message without being bothered by the messenger. There could be something coming together, maybe involving an air sign. Or maybe that's who was lost when there was a loss, or that's who suffered a loss as an air sign specifically. Is a Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius. Or if there had been a breakup prior and now this is like getting back together and being happy, it may have involved specifically a Gemini with the Magician and the Princess of Winter here, but perhaps an air sign, maybe a water sign, maybe specifically a Cancer or Pisces, or an earth sign, a King of Autumn, Capricorn, Virgo, Taurus, involved with a Gemini or an air sign or a Pisces, or a Gemini with Pisces energy, Pisces in the chart or something that's coming through. Maybe a Gemini with a Pisces moon, involved with an earth sign that has some sort of inheritance, or selling a home, or buying a home, or some all of manifesting their abundance. And then possibly it involves moving. If not moving, again, victory. So it's still movement forward. Still feel like I'm supposed to say something else. Sometimes the moon and the Page of Swords can be about like spying on someone, on others. So maybe it's some sort of distrustful situation. Maybe that's why feminine is like swirling away. It could be emotions too. Maybe like, I don't trust this guy just quite yet, so I'm going to look into stuff. I think it's interesting. We have a 7 at the heart of the matter and at the overall energy. Major Arcana card 7, the Chariot, and the 7 of Wands, which is again about defending your decisions and beliefs and standing your ground, not letting anybody push you around and stuff. Yeah, this could have to do with some sort of research or spying, or it's probably just somebody going through somebody's phone or something, or maybe that's how you found out something in the past that led to this current behavior. Let's see what the advice is to the masculine. The Prince of Spring. An opportunity arises that needs your attention right away. Moving quickly. So be moving quickly is important. Yet there's nothing that you can't handle if you follow your inner guidance. The masculine also being guided to follows inner guidance. Some cards fell on the floor. The Five of Summer. So it could be like an air of disappointment, but this is not, of course, the prevalent energy. These things are, but this just fell out of the deck. And also the High Priestess. So this can mean something because this is Major Arcana. And the High Priestess is the type to sort of observe first before jumping out and making a decision. So there could be some guidance to you to do that as well. This is a time to pause and to reflect, not to take action. Trust in your spiritual gifts, as nothing is hidden from your divine intuition. So, further to that, for the feminine, ooh, the Eight of Winter. Yeah, she's really feeling either fearful and, lacking confidence, distrustful, and or stuck. It's so easy to convince yourself that you're trapped when you really aren't. Trust that God will lift you to new heights and give you a greater sense of self-confidence if you first affirm your freedom. What is the feminine's deal? Nine of Winter. It's the next card, the next upright card that I pulled to clarify. She's paranoid about something. Really, really afraid of something. Loss. Financial loss, it seems. It doesn't have to be financial. Again, it can be pretty much anything, any kind of lack or void that we feel, or fear feeling. It's like fear of abandonment, all of these things. Feminine doesn't know everything's going to be fine. Focusing upon the negative or worrying about money or like crappy relationships or your career. Definitely I felt that she's not happy at her job and like wants to do her own thing. But focusing upon those kind of negative things, or if there had been a loss associated with any of that, just getting stuck in that energy as if it's not going to get better will block your progress. Because your trust and faith are at a low point right now, it's not the best time for you to start your own business or to become self-employed, or probably not to start a relationship either until you can turn that feeling around. And what's the next card? You have the strength to face whatever it is comes your way. True strength, and it may involve having to accept somebody's apology, or you having to apologize to somebody else, or both. True strength is displayed through kindness, forgiveness, and compassion. You have tremendous personal power and courage. Could involve a Leo also. And maybe a situation that's popping up from the past. The love and care of children could become an important part of your life, or people from your childhood may return to it. Old memories can be healed, or possibly old childhood dreams can be revived. There could be something, again, a job or something, a business of your own that you've wanted to do for a long time. It could be arising some issue from the past, maybe a financial issue could arise from the past, and that has you all stressed out and paranoid, but it's going to turn out okay in your favor, especially if you let go of that negative energy. Also, it could have something to do with a person coming back, into your life. Maybe, again, an earth sign, maybe most specifically a Capricorn. I kept feeling that, maybe because the 10 of Autumn sitting next to it too. Yep, here's the next upright card, and it's the last upright card, for now at least, is Major Arcana card 20, Renewal, which is judgment in the traditional tarot. So, you could be anticipating some sort of judgment, and you're worried that it's not going to be in your favor. But Major Arcana card Judgment showing up here like this does suggest that, especially with considering the other cards, does suggest that it is in your favor. And, this is about abundance earned coming your way because it should, because you deserve it, whether because of actual labor or, karma. Could be tied to ascension and, the universe rewarding you, paying you off as well, giving you a bonus, a raise of some sort. For relationships, we may have come to some kind of crossroad, and we got to decide where do we go from here, if anywhere, and get that figured out. And for some relationships that had ended, or maybe there had been a loss in the relationship, a breakup or something like that, that relationship coming back around, the Judgment for me, and it is a 2, often represents like the second time around, second chances in love and stuff. Hope you guys have enjoyed the daily reading. I'll be back tomorrow. Namaste.